Welcome to Catalyst Conversations, the podcast where we spark powerful change in women's wealth. I'm Hadriana, a wealth coach, counselor, and strategist, and each week we dive into the conversations, strategies, and stories that help women confidently create the life they've always dreamed of. So grab your favorite bevy, settle in, and let's get started on transforming your relationship with money. This is Catalyst Conversations, igniting change in women's wealth. Let's spark the conversation. All right. So hey there, Christen, CJ. How you doing?
I am good, Miss Hadriana. Excited to be here with you today.
I love how when you say my name, the accent comes out.
Of course. Some words I just can't. It's
help it, right?
Can't help it.
Absolutely can't help it. So I am so thrilled to introduce you to our audience today because you do some extraordinary work. I mean, I happen to have had you as part of my life for a number of years now, but I've seen the transformations you do for your clients. So let me introduce you to the people. And I want to get this all right because I'm not going to ad-lib this. I ain't going to do that to you, right? I welcome your goofy self to our Catalyst Conversations audience. Because the reason why I said that is because CJ considers herself equal parts goofy and serious. And when you meet her, when you engage with her content, you will find that for reals. That's exactly who she is. On the business side, CJ is the founder of Shine to 5 Solutions. And that alone says a lot. You need to look into it. I don't want to bore you with all of the awesome titles and stuff that go into who CJ is. I'd love for you to experience her for yourself. But I think it's important that you know that CJ has a BA in psychology. She's a master mindset coach, and she's a certified life skills coach. So this girl's got a powerful toolbox behind her. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about her own, I guess, catalyst moments that kind of got her to where she is now. So CJ, we are expecting the goofy and serious. In fact, we're expecting impactful conversations.
Okay.
If you were to explain like what you do in the lives of the people you work with, how would you describe that?
I would say I guide and empower ambitious 9-to-5 women to push past mediocrity, to start their own thing, their own side hustle, so that they can define their own success. And if ultimately they want to walk away from their 9-to-5, we work on a 3D exit strategy so they can do that with all the confidence in the world and shed the exact employee mindset that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, for real. So you're telling me that not everybody has to be an entrepreneur full time?
No, of course not.
No. Because I mean, if you listen to some of the other experts out there, it's like the ultimate realization and manifestation of yourself requires you to free yourself from employeeship. But in your work with your clients, you're saying you're empowering them to create the option, and if they choose to go into it 100%, they can do that.
Yeah. You know what? You brought that up, and now I got to touch on it.
Yeah,
I always talk about or complain about the glamorization of entrepreneurship, and I will always say, I don't knock the 9-to-5 life. Especially the reason why we all deal with employee mindset is because most of us were conditioned and prepared to be employees. We don't have the tools and the skills to be entrepreneurs. I mean, yeah, it could be the ultimate goal for many of us, but that's not the be all and end all. And it's hard.
Yeah, no kidding. I think that's the simplest way. And that's the honest conversation we need to have, because we're not the big like Forbes list companies that have 1,000 minions running around to do for them so they can free themselves to just, oh, I will just develop content. And there are 500 people who are going to make that pretty, send it out, and do all the other things. You're saying that, or acknowledging that,
Mhm.
100% entrepreneurship to fund your life and your goals and dreams, it's hard.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
hard. It's difficult.
straight up.
Yeah, straight up. It's a roller coaster. It's up, it's down, it's around, it's through, it's under. You crash into a wall. You'll be going, hitting, doing everything, hitting all your goals, and then things will plateau. It's a lot. So I love that my clients have that stability of their 9 to 5. So as they work through shifting their mindset and also understanding, yes, the 9 to 5 does bring this stability, but it also
Yeah.
confines you. So
Yes.
if you know you want to think outside of this box that you're in, hey, let's work on it. Let's build a plan. Let's create that exit strategy so that you can have the life that you want to have, the life that you desire. The one thing, whenever I ask one of my women, how would they define success? 99.9997268% of the time, they're saying they want to be able to be in control of their time.
Yeah.
I
Time
want to
freedom.
be able to, yeah, just the time freedom. The financial freedom, of course, yes, but most of the time it's the time freedom. I want to be able to do so and so with my child on a Wednesday morning, or I want to be able to go to the grocery at 2 p.m. on a Friday. Oh, those little things.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want and you say you want it, okay, let's get there. Let's work
Let's
on
make
that
it
together.
happen. And
Yeah.
it's great that coaches like you are available, because to be honest, before I started my entrepreneurial journey, I didn't know there was someone that could have helped me gracefully segue from the nine
Mhm.
to five to entrepreneurship, because I can tell you, but that's part of my personality though, but I can tell you, I quit the job, I jumped off the cliff, and I built the parachute as I was falling. Let's just be clear here. And that does not work. It wasn't always graceful. It was full of some anxious moments. And I
Mhm.
had support that not all of your clients would have. Okay, so before
Mhm.
we jump into that employee mindset exploration,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about your catalyst moment, because so many of us start businesses based on our own experiences. But is there a specific moment that something sparked and you were like, okay, I got to do something?
Mm. Yeah, I manifested my layoff.
You manifested your layoff.
100% manifested my layoff. I always say that I was unhappy at my 9 to 5. I didn't hate the job, but I knew this was, I'm like, this is every day. I'm like, this can't be it for me. This is not it
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
But like you, I didn't have someone to show me and help me build my entrepreneurial toolbox, if you will.
right.
I didn't realize that was an option to go to someone and say, I want to leave my job so that I can be a full-time entrepreneur. I knew I wanted it. I knew it.
Yes.
And it got to a point where I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And then I had started to tell everyone that would listen
Yeah.
by the end of this year, I'm not going to be at this job anymore. I don't know what January of next year will look like, but as of December 31st, this will be my last year here.
Were
And
you
then
scared? Like,
I was
did
so
it
sure.
scare you?
I was so, that's when I knew I was ready. And you asked about that catalyst. It took a few years to get to the point where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And to actually say it out loud.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine said to me, wouldn't it be great if you got laid off? I'm like, oh my God, that would be
Oh,
incredible because then I get my severance package, and then I have this, and I have this, and I can go back to school, and I can blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna get laid off. And
oh my.
I remember I reached out to a former coworker who ended up being my coach and
Yes.
mentor. And I said, tell me about how you became a coach. And sure enough, just a few months after I talked to her, I had to reach out to her again and be like, guess what? They're laying me
Goodness.
off.
To be honest, I've never met anyone so excited about being laid off before.
Oh, Hadriana, I will never forget. I was one of the first people to have that meeting with HR and management because I was a manager myself.
Right.
And in the meeting, the manager's there to offer his support, and he's looking all solemn, and HR's walking me through everything. And I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely, no problem. When you want to be spy, you want me to sign here and here and here. Oh, by what date? Absolutely. And the HR lady, I'll never forget. She's like, I am not used to this reaction. And then they mentioned, like, well, because you have to process all this information, you can leave for the day. I'm like, sure. I'm
Yeah.
out of
Oh
here.
my. Done.
Give me my paperwork. I'm out of here. But yeah, that was my moment. That was my moment. I manifested my layoff. I was ready, and the universe was like, okay, let's do this.
It was time. And there's a confidence in that kind of knowing, that kind of grounding that this is what is supposed to happen and this
Mm-hmm.
is what's next. This is like you probably didn't know all the details about what was coming next,
Nope.
but you knew that where you were was not it, which is unlike some of your clients because some people are happy to stay in the 9 to
Mm-hmm.
5
Yeah.
and just add a source of revenue, which
Yes.
is quite all right. So here's the thing then. You are helping people grow their side hustles. You're helping them create solutions, strategies, all of that good stuff. What do you find is the one thing that is holding people back from pouring intentionally into the side hustle? Because whether they stay in the job or leave the job, the
Mm-hmm.
success of the side hustle needs deliberate intention so that it grows and becomes a success. What is the thing that seems to be holding your clients back the most?
Success.
They're afraid of it?
Yep. A fear of success. What if
Yes.
this works out? What
Yeah.
if this actually becomes a thing? What will people say? What if if I spend all this money what if I end up wasting, and it just to get in their heads about things, but because they are so conditioned to be employees, to work for
Right.
someone else, to build someone else's dream, that when
Right.
they start to build their own and it actually starts to become a thing and they see it coming to life, like, wait a minute.
Whoops.
Hold on, CJ, hold on. And as much as I might plant the seed of like, yes, we can work on this and this is how the 3D exit strategy works out, and we can start here and blah, 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 blah. And like, okay, no, yeah, maybe I will, I think I, and then and they start, that's when they start to
Yep.
like backpedal a little bit.
Hyperventilating.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just, I'd say with the program, it's customizable. It's not cookie cutter, no matter how much you might see all those experts
Yes,
out
indeed.
there saying, follow these 6 steps to make 6 figures in 6 minutes and all that other stuff. However long it takes, some people it's 3 months, some people it's 6, some people might need another year or two, but it's just as long as you can get to the point where you can see your side hustle becoming a thriving business. Give
Right.
yourself that time, because it's the shift of the mindset. There's also the emotional preparedness, because to walk away from that stability of a nine to
Mhm.
five is terrifying. I've
Yes.
even had someone say to me, this wasn't a client. I think I was a guest on her podcast, and she had said it was easier for her to walk away from her marriage
Mhm.
than it
Wow.
was to walk away from her job.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So the emotional preparedness in that too. So knowing they have this 9 to 5, they can create their safety net and really understand that they need to look at their numbers.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
pay attention to your numbers. Please understand when you start off, you're starting off as a solopreneur. And when
Yes.
it's time to delegate, how are you going to go back to your numbers? And numbers, 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 right? So really kind of treating side hustle like a thriving business, and you can see it as a
Right.
business and where it can supplement the income you're walking away from, then we start working on, and in that time, they start shifting their mindset. And it's always beautiful to have those moments where clients start off by like, okay, well, yeah, see, let's work on this. And you start to see the confidence and the showing up and they're doing all the things. And CJ, I think I'm ready. I think I wanna create that exit strategy you were talking about. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
You're right. Some may take longer to say it, and some it takes a few sessions.
Yeah.
But once they have the support that I wish I had when I was at nine to five,
Right.
they this is what is here's someone with all the tools and resources and the experience, and just providing you with that support, the holding that space to navigate the guilt and the fear and the confusion around making a very big decision that ultimately might not necessarily be for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your situation,
Right.
but it is you first. You are making this decision to walk away if that's what you want to do. But it's always that fear of success. Like, this can I only
Yeah.
know how to build somebody else's dream. I only know how to come in and I'm a part of a team, or my role was defined and described to me and handed to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
know when I hand this off to so and so, I don't have anything else to worry about. But with a business,
Right.
everything, you're chief everything officer, right?
Yes.
This could become a thing, that fear of success. Yeah.
Wow. So if you were to describe the catalyst moments that your clients are experiencing, they're working with you, and I know
Mhm.
this when it happens will vary because all of your clients are going at their own pace. That's the
Mhm.
beauty of one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
Um, if you were to describe what that moment is when the spark happens for your client, what would it be, or what does it look like? What does it feel like when that happens?
Oh, let me think about the last time. She was dealing with her 9 to 5 can be pretty demanding,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes her away from home. She travels a bit, and of
Right.
course that gets a little frustrating.
Yes.
But in us working together and her understanding, even when it comes to her marketing and her creating her content and the scheduling things out and managing her time, and she realizes that she can do the hard thing. She
Yes.
can and then we use, speaking of catalyst, use that frustration as a catalyst now. Like, how
Ah,
much
yes.
longer do you want to do this? How much more can you tolerate not being able to dictate how you use your time?
Right.
And so that moment comes where you get that little message, hey CJ, can we get like a quick call? Get it, and just to get on the call, it's not a scheduled coaching session, but she
Mm-hmm.
couldn't wait to say, I'm ready to leave my 9 to 5, because
Wow.
she'd had enough of not being able to consistently show up in her side hustle. And
Right.
because she started to really see the potential of it, and I saw her confidence growing, and as she built her own confidence with my support, and just
Mm-hmm.
with that came that clarity, and then
Yes.
there was of course the accountability and that support, and she realized just having someone in my corner made all the difference.
Right.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. You know what? It's interesting that you say that because one of the phrases I use in my coaching is borrow until you can embody.
Ooh.
Somebody said, "Oh, you mean fake it till you make it?" I'm like, "No, no, no,
Hmm.
that's not what it is at all. Because this fake it business, it just doesn't work."
Hmm.
I mean, lean into what others see in you until you can see it in yourself
Oh.
because you saw her potential. You believed in her potential long before she believed in it
Yes.
for herself enough to have that spark. But
Yeah.
because of the support you provide, you can show her glimpses of what you're seeing. You can help her. I guess confidence is part of
Yeah.
that magic
Yeah.
spark that happens.
Clarity. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
clarity, confidence. And then when they see it for themselves and they're like, whoa, I
Yeah.
can do this. This is me. This is in
Yeah.
me. You're like,
Yeah.
I've been telling you this the
Right?
whole time.
Have you been on my sessions? Because I would say that to them. I see it. I'm just waiting for you to catch up to me. So
Oh,
let's hop to it. Now, what are we working on first? What are we talking about first here? So that
yeah,
you can catch up to the potential I see. And
yeah,
of course, with coaching, you're digging deeper, you're pulling things out of them so they can see it for themselves. I mean, I'm not telling you everything. You have everything
that's
here. I
right.
always use this analogy. I say, pretend we're standing at the entrance to a room and there's just paper everywhere. And there's a
Uh-huh.
desk or a shelf on the other side. And you look to me and you say, CJ, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know where to start. And I'm like, just pick one piece of paper up.
Right,
You start a pile, you look at another one. Oh, that might be another pile. Oh, this one goes to this pile. Da, 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 da. And before you know it, you're sorting through all of the paperwork to be able to put it on that shelf on the other side of the room.
right,
And by that I mean you have everything that you need already. I'm just here to help you sort through it, see what makes sense, see what works now, see what's a shiny object, see what can
right,
be a priority, what can be, put on the back burner for a little bit until you start to realize I can do this. I'm sorting
right.
my own paperwork because you walked me through these first few steps and now I can continue to do it. But don't go too far, CJ. And I will continue to do it. But yeah, that's the point. Like you have everything. I'm not
Right.
giving you everything. I'm pulling it out of you so that
Yes.
you can see it for yourself.
Fantastic. And I think that kind of helps us move into the exploration of employee mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you were describing, if we would use that client as our case study, the frustration she had was, in the commute and in not feeling fulfilled very much in the role or everything that came into play for her to go to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She could have figured out a way to get another 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
that did not have the long commute, or it was not as frustrating time wise or location wise, or she could have chosen to find another job that had a
Mm-hmm.
nicer boss. Whatever the frustration was, the frustration could have been addressed by getting another 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How does employee mindset keep people stuck in trying to fix the frustrations they feel by getting another of the same thing?
See, employee mindset, I think we had touched on is a conditioning. So
Yeah.
basically, we have been told you go to school, you get the education, you
Yes.
get the higher education, you get the job, you get the better job, and you move up within the organization, you get the accolades and the recognition. So, employee mindset is basically you are being told what to do
Right.
and using not really. I mean, there of course are rules. I'm not trying to knock the I will not knock the 9 to 5, right? But you're being told what to do. So you
Right.
literally don't know how to use your voice because everything is designed and mapped out for you. This is the box you're in. These are the things you're supposed to do. These are the things that are expected of you, are required of you. This is your job description. This is who you work with. This is who you report to. And that's all they will know. So then they
Right.
feel like when they're in that space and that's all they know, well, there must be better out there for them if they want to move on to another job. Hey, I've done that too. You
Right.
sought other employment because you thought that was a solution because that is all they knew and that's all they
Right.
know is to work for someone else, to build for someone else, to sit in the and stay in the confines of working for someone else.
And
And
I'm going to stick a pin here and say that there is a degree of comfort. We've been conditioned to
There
get in
is.
that space.
Yes, definitely. And we are hardwired to resist change.
Right.
Point blank, period. So our brains are ready to keep us comfortable.
Yes.
Of that whole fight or flight, but it's like, no, 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 no. We're not gonna go over there.
Yeah,
We're
there's
not gonna try to
safety.
change things. We're gonna
It's
stay.
safe
We're gonna,
here. We
yeah,
understand here. We can
yeah.
figure this out here.
Exactly. Stay over
Over
here
there.
where it's safe. You
Mhm.
know everything what's gonna come. You know what your day is gonna look like, and how many people you're gonna be interacting with, and how many things you need to do, and how long the day is, when your breaks are, when your lunch is, blah blah blah. Let's just stay over here and be comfortable. But change is the only constant. When we think
Yeah.
about the reality of things, change, oh, there's always some kind of change that's happening. So to be able to really start to embrace change and step out of that comfort zone, realize that fear, we're supposed to be afraid, but use fear again as a catalyst.
Yes.
Fear and
Yes.
doubt. I say when you start to doubt something, I don't know, that's for me, that's how it works. But I start to doubt, I'm like, ooh,
Mm.
my brain's trying to keep me safe. That means
Yes.
I need to pursue whatever this is, because on the other side is something really incredible waiting for me. So I use doubt and fear as a catalyst. As soon as I realize, I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So a little
It's
shift again.
it's very empowering, I think, when we can help our people, our clients, um, to understand those physical responses
Yeah.
and to not try to avoid them, but
Right.
leverage them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, leverage it for your good, for your up leveling, and for all. I can tell you it's scary. I know it's scary. It's still scary some days.
Oh gosh.
But I've certainly learned to lean into those feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledge them, and then thank my body, my inner sense, my intuition, thank God for those responses that allow me to get information,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then using that information to move me along the path that I know is designed for me to go. So
Mm-hmm.
here you are, your client, one client says they had the moment, they had that spark, and
Uh-huh.
they're
Yeah.
ready to leave the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
The other client says, I know it, I'm ready, I'm going to make the massive success of my side hustle, but I want to stay in my 9 to 5. Is that a sign that they have not overcome employee mindset?
It if they're anything like me, because I know I plan everything out, I think everything through, even when I had done a whole episode on my podcast about procrastination. Are you a procrastinator or are you processing things, right? So,
Right?
and
That's
you
right.
have to also figure out your financial situation too. It's like
Yes.
some people might not be in a position to, in 6 months, walk away from their 9 to 5, simply because they might not have that much saved up, or they might not necessarily have built the safety net that they wanted to, in order to feel confident financially to walk
Hmm.
away from the, again, the stability of
Right.
having a 9 to 5. So there sometimes there is fear, and I will say it, admit it, that not all my clients walk away from a 9 to 5. Some of them will stop the coaching sessions completely, and they put their side hustles on the back burner.
Hmm.
And that whole mindset does win. Sometimes you can't win them all.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But I don't think, I think it's just the journey is different, and the experience is different. It's very relative, very subjective,
Right.
very individual.
Yep.
And they have to remember that, like, don't compare yourself to, okay, so this person did it in 3 or 6 months, you need another year because you're trying to pay down your mortgage, or you're trying to build up your safety net, or you're trying to make sure you have a certain number of clients in your side hustle, so that you can see consistent income, and you're
Right.
generating consistent income before you walk away. And that means, okay, we got to go back. We got to figure out our marketing. We got to figure out this. We got to figure out that. We got to figure out your
Right.
offer, where your ideal client is. And maybe they haven't quite figured out. Maybe they thought they had. I see this a lot where they, oh, and I'm like, but is it what your ideal client wants? So
Yeah.
let's revisit that. Let's have some conversations with them, do some more research. And they might have to go back to the drawing board. They realize it takes 3 more months.
Right.
And on top of all of that, when I work with my clients, I say there are 12 areas of life. It's usually
Mm-hmm.
8, but I've broken it down more
Yes, ma'am.
into 12. And area number 1 is self-care.
Right.
And the very last area is business. Area 12 is business, because your business should fit into your life. So
Yes.
depending on your lifestyle, depending on the demands of your life, whether it be you have a family or other maybe you have parents you want to care for, whatever, however you need to show up in your business, maybe you volunteer, maybe, there's so many different things to take into consideration. And
Right.
she needs to be able to map everything out, and really the horizon is there. She's heading in the right direction. It's just going to take her a little bit longer, but as long as she stays the course, she doesn't put it on hold,
Right.
put it on the
Right.
back burner. And if you do that, it's the fear has won, or you started the wrong thing, or you just need to work. There's other things you need to work on. And as much as I might try to talk them and walk them through it, they have made their decision. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
work with the ones who are ambitious, they're serious, they're focused, and they want to be intentional. You want to get started. You want to see things materialize. Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
let's let's hop to it. Let's get to
You
it.
know what? I think there's also value in helping the person who has romanticized the whole idea of entrepreneurship, to help them really see what it takes to run a business, a successful business,
That's a gap.
and to help them choose. And I think that's what is ultimately important. It's what I do with my clients. I give
Yeah.
you the power of choice,
Yes.
and a client choosing to stay in the 9 to 5 to me is a win, because they have made the choice. They're not stuck in there like another cog in a gigantic machine. They have made the choice. And with your choice comes power. And even within their 9 to 5, they now have more options, believe it or not, if they choose to stay. For
Yeah.
your clients, whether they choose to stay or not, the employee mindset has been explored. I think that's a win.
Yes, exactly. They acknowledge there's
Yes.
certain fears and doubts and obstacles, and they realize there's a lot more personal development involved in trying to start and grow a business, and they're
Right.
willing to do the work to
Y-
to shift no matter how long it takes.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So I asked you one of your favorite quotes, sayings, phrases. Do you remember what you put?
There's no such thing as can't.
There's no such thing
My
as can.
grandfather said that every single day of my life. There's no such thing as can't.
Oh
And
my.
whenever I have to do something, I find that I can't say that I can't do it, because I'm like,
Yeah.
who told me I can't do it? Who
Right.
know that I can't do it if I haven't tried it?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
then when you try it, you've done it. So there really is no such thing as can't. When, as cliche as it sounds, if you want something, you will work towards getting it. If you want it
Yes.
badly enough, you will make it happen every day. No such thing as can't. Don't tell me you can't. Don't yell it into me. Don't tell me you can't do this when you
And
know fully well you can.
even now,
Yeah.
as he's
Mhm.
resting in his eternal peace,
Yes. I
he's
still
still
hear
in
his
your
voice.
head.
Yeah. No such thing as can't with
Well,
the
I can
captain.
see how you would infuse that into your clients with their client experiences. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and what you're sharing there and where people can find you.
Oh, the podcast is called Side Hustle Growth. I am
Woo!
all things side hustle. your side hustle gal.
Yeah, man.
And it is, I share tips and advice. I share my own personal experiences. As you said in the beginning, equal parts goofy and serious. I keep it very, very real. I will talk about how hard it has been and how to work through certain obstacles and certain fears and navigating them. Guest experts, including yourself, have been on that podcast to share their expertise and bring their value to the audience. And I just want to be able to help 9 to 5 women shine. That's why it's called Shine to 5 Solutions. Shine is an acronym. It just happens to be 5 letters, and I work with 9 to 5 women. So Shine means simplify how to implement a new ending. And you can find me anywhere. I'm on all platforms at Christen N James, 2 N's, or ChristenNJames.com. And we can start with a 15-minute vibe check, because we got to see if we vibe first. We work well together, and then
100%.
take the next steps, right? And take things from there for sure.
100%. I really value the change that you create and the support that you give to your clients to enable them to make their transitions, to do it with grace and to explore with confidence. And I hope that you continue to do so. This is very exciting. Everyone, check out CJ's links, Christen and James everywhere. And be sure to reach out if you're even thinking about it, if you're even playing with the idea of it, or if you already have something and you're not sure how to manage. CJ is perfect for that. And I'll tell you this, in her goofy and serious combination, she will vibe with you if you come up authentically and you come open.
Yes.
There isn't much. I mean, if you're a horrible person, then just don't bother.
Don't bother. Don't even think about it. But I will say, I've been very, very fortunate, very blessed to always attract the right energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of your authenticity. Because you come at it authentically, then that attracts like frequency,
sure.
right?
I agree.
That is delicious. Thank you so much, CJ, Christen N. James. Thank you so much for being with us. And we're looking forward to seeing much more from you. I bet I'm going to have you back.
Ooh, thank you for having me.
So thanks again, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for joining me today on Catalyst Conversations. I hope this episode sparked something powerful to help on your journey to building wealth confidently and unapologetically. If you loved today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep moving toward your goals, stay empowered, and continue sparking change on your wealth journey. This is Hadriana, and you've been listening to Catalyst Conversations.